A massive fire response in St. Louis this 4th of July. Fire officials tell us they were called out to more than 600 incidents during the holiday. Fire officials tell us that's a 60% increase in calls from last year.
5 on your side's Mercedes McKay spoke with the St. Louis Fire Department about their response and why this year the nature of the calls shifted dramatically.
The St. Louis Fire Department stays ready, so we don't have to get ready.
Every year when the fireworks pop off and the parties begin, St. Louis firefighters know it won't be a slow night.
It was busy. It was busy. Historically, that's become one of our busiest operational periods.
And 2025 Independence Day celebrations weren't any different. The St. Louis Fire Department responded to 631 total incidents between 8 a.m. July 4th and 8 a.m. July 5th. Of those, 57 were dumpster fires, as well as dozens of grass and weed fires. But Captain Garon Mosby says there was one major shift in this year's response.
We had 140 fire responses this year in comparison to, I believe it was in the 80s last year. So it was like a 60% increase in fire activity.
This home on Penrose was one of the hundreds of calls that the fire department responded to during the 4th of July night. Fire crews wanting to remind everyone in St. Louis how quickly celebrations can turn into emergencies.
The potential for damage, destruction, and potentially death. Obviously, that all escalates when you're dealing with fires.
Even 48 hours after the holiday, fireworks were scattered across yards. Mosby says most of the fires he responded to July 4th night, he could actively still hear fireworks being discharged while crews were at the scene.
There are homes that are vulnerable, especially post-tornado, and you've got tarps on roofs, you've got openings, and a firework that gets in there can create even more damage. And cause even, more destruction and pain to a family.
That's why, even though the celebrations are over, firefighters have one message.
Just be thoughtful. A lot of times I think folks get caught up, this is the tradition of how we celebrate the 4th of July. And we get that. We truly understand. But just be thoughtful.
Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
Captain Mosby added how worried they are every 4th of July because back in 2017, the department lost a firefighter after he responded to multiple calls during the holiday.